A bit of nostalgia. Do you remember those phones that marked an entire generation? The HTC Desire, the HTC One, or even the HTC Evo. Your input doesn't seem to be a metric system unit. Please provide a valid metric system unit, such as kilometers, grams, liters, etc. These are flagship models that not only redefined the smartphone experience, but also launched HTC into a meteoric rise. At one time, HTC was the name to know, with innovations that constantly pushed the boundaries of what a phone could offer. But today, what has become of this brand that was once indispensable? A tech giant who saw its market share melt away at a dizzying speed. How did HTC, the brand that launched the very first Android phone, fall so quickly? Today, following your many requests, we're finally diving into the fascinating story of HTC, a brand that changed the course of the smartphone market before almost completely disappearing. HTC was founded in 1997 in Taipei, the capital of Taiwan, under the name High-Tech Computer Corporation. At first, they manufactured laptops, but quickly they pivoted to mobile telephony by leveraging their expertise to design phones. For other brands like Compaq, Sony, which I was talking about in a video recently, Palm and HP, their growing success led them to become one of the largest phone manufacturers of the early 2000s. The company debuted its first phone under the Q-Tech brand. Though the initial models copied competitors, it helped establish their name. But it was with the arrival of the iPhone in 2007 that HTC took a real turn. With a flair that many competitors lacked at the time, as I explained to you in the videos about Nokia, or even those of Motorola, HTC saw the future of smartphones in the touchscreen and began to look for an alternative operating system. In that year, HTC releases the HTC Touch, causing a sensation and making a big splash. This innovative touch phone is one of the first to approach the experience we have today with our full touchscreens. At the time, the majority of phones still have physical keyboards, so this touch innovation, it creates a real buzz. HTC positions itself as a pioneer of the new mobile era. Then comes 2008, a decisive year. Hardware HTC has the foresight to realize the limitations of Windows Mobile and is chosen by Google to be the exclusive partner of the first Android smartphone, the HTC Dream or G1. This partnership marks a turning point. Android has transformed HTC beyond being solely a smartphone maker. It becomes the creator of one of the first real rivals to Apple's iPhones. The G1 launches as a revolutionary device featuring a touchscreen and sliding keyboard. Although this model is far from perfect, it is clear that it paves the way for a future mobility without borders. But that's not all. HTC is not content with being a follower. In 2009, the brand launched the HTC Hero, one of the first smartphones to adopt a rounded design with soft edges and a customized Android interface. It makes all the difference. This model appeals to both consumers and critics and marks a turning point in how users perceive HTC. The HTC Hero becomes a benchmark model. From now on, HTC is essential. The company achieves continued success with models like the Desire, known for its fluid and elegant design. These devices sell by the millions, and in 2011, the company reaches its peak with a market share of 24%, surpassing giants like Nokia and Motorola. The company captured the core of mobile phone evolution and the rising need for powerful, accessible, and streamlined smartphones. Their intuitive device aims to facilitate creativity and communication. For a moment, HTC seemed ready to take the throne and compete with Apple on all fronts. But a strategic mistake is going to change everything. HTC peaked in 2011. The Thunderbolt, one of the first your input, doesn't seem to be a metric system unit. Please provide a valid metric system unit, such as kilometers, grams, liters, etc. Smartphones was a huge success. The brand is at the heart of innovation with Android. And even though Samsung and Apple dominate in terms of volume, HTC establishes itself as a key player. At this point, they realize their first strategic mistake. HTC diversifies its product line by introducing low-end smartphones. The idea is to reach a wider audience, but this diversification will quickly prove to be a misstep. Meanwhile, the company is being summoned to respond to patent infringement allegations by Apple and Microsoft. An extremely costly legal battle begins, and HTC is forced to spend a fortune to buy patents and defend itself against these industry giants. After a series of negotiations, HTC ends up signing an agreement with Microsoft and Apple, agreeing to pay royalties to these companies on each device sold. This situation, which seems decisive for the company, becomes a real financial burden. It is not only forced to defend its position in the market, but it also sacrifices a large part of its profits for foreign patents. This financial loss has immediate repercussions. In the same year, HTC, until then a thriving company, begins to face its first net loss in over 10 years. Instead of enhancing its strengths, the brand introduces a range of generic products such as the Wildfire and Cha-Cha. But these budget models have no unique character. Rather than offering something new and exciting, they are content to copy what already exists on the market. Moreover, Facebook's dedicated buttons aimed at young users fail to captivate an already jaded audience. And the public is getting tired. The company thus loses its position as an innovative leader and finds itself in a deadlock. Driven by this urgency to boost its profits, HTC begins to lose itself in a spiral of confusion. It releases similarly designed phones with confusing names and an unclear offer. This disoriented strategy will create a station of chaos. Too many poorly defined choices with prices, and similar features, which ends up losing the interest of consumers. HTC's brand identity has become unclear to users, losing its distinctive qualities. But the company has not said its last word. In 2013, as HTC appears to be on the brink of losing it all, the brand attempts to start afresh. HTC reintroduces the iconic HTC One, a high-end smartphone embodying the quality and innovation values that made them famous in their early days. The HTC One makes a sensation. An elegant aluminum design, innovative stereo sound with boom sound technology, and a quality camera. The model is very successful, particularly in Asia and in some European markets. It even allows HTC to come back to the forefront with solid sales, reaching 5 million units in just 2 months. Paradoxically, this potentially pivotal model for their rebirth also signifies a disastrous turning point. Despite its success, HTC fails to capitalize on the renewed interest. Strategic errors are piling up. Rather than using this momentum, the company is satisfied with repeating the same models without taking genuine risks. The HTC One M8 and its successors fail to captivate as much as the first model. The absence of groundbreaking innovation is increasingly apparent. The once innovative mobile giant can no longer keep pace with the rapidly changing market. Samsung and Apple, major rivals, continue making significant advances with their flagship devices, like the iPhone and Galaxy S. In 2015, after multiple efforts to introduce innovative products such as the HTC Vive VR headset, the situation turned critical. The smartphone market is no longer favorable to them, and their financial performance worsens yearly. Although HTC manages to meet some success in niches like virtual reality, precisely in the smartphone industry, the fall does not seem ready to stop. But unexpectedly, a former partner is going to reach out to them again. In 2017, HTC signs a major strategic partnership agreement with Google. This deal, it will allow the brand to focus on developing devices for Google while continuing to produce smartphones under its own name. The HTC manufactured Google Pixel becomes a flagship product from their collaboration. The problem is that HTC is still struggling to win back the hearts of fans with its own brand. Their market share, which was at 24% a few years ago, has fallen to 0.1%. Despite good reviews, the 2018 HTC U12 Plus has not reversed the company's downward trend. The brand is now a forgotten relic in the industry as of 2019. To everyone's surprise, the company is venturing into the world of cryptocurrencies with its HTC Exodus, a blockchain-focused phone. The move is surprising, and it looks more like a desperate attempt than a real innovation. While this product has impacted the world of cryptocurrencies, it hasn't propelled HTC to the forefront of the mobile scene. Today, the company is focusing on niche products, mainly in the field of virtual reality and gaming, where its headset, the famous HTC Vive, continues to compete with Oculus. By the way, let me know in the comments if you're interested that I develop this headset in another video. As for the smartphone, once their great pride, it has become a secondary activity that is far from their core business. HTC's fall is a major tech mystery. It once had the potential to dominate the smartphone industry. We will remember its legacy which will certainly remain intact thanks to iconic products and innovations that have shaped the history of the modern smartphone. But strategic errors, a lack of clear vision at a certain point, and questionable decisions led this great brand towards the disappearance of its superpower status. And it's really a shame because it had managed to avoid the pitfalls that Sony and Ericsson fell into, which I talk about in the video that's showing.